Welcome to Oracle Application Express Advanced Topics, Other Security Features. I'm going to walk through a real quick example that shows how you can use users and groups inside of your Apex application to conditionally display or hide different regions on an Apex page. This is a relatively simple example. The security features in Apex are a lot more sophisticated than this, but I wanted to give you a taste of some of the things that you can do relatively easily inside of your Apex application. When you're creating users for your Apex application, a good idea is to create something called groups. If you create groups and assign users to those groups, you can then do some sophisticated things inside of your application to either conditionally display or hide different regions on a page from end users. My application has two users, one called admin and one called Paul. I'm going to create a new group. I'm going to call this group name Power Users. Once I've created that Power Users group, I can go into my individual users and assign them to a group. So I'm going to edit the admin user. And I'm going to assign the admin user to my Power Users group. So admin is part of Power Users, but Paul is not. I can go into my application and I'm going to put a conditional statement on one of the regions on one of the pages that says power users can see this region, but anyone else cannot see this region. So I'm going to go back into my application builder and I'm going to edit page 4. When we were working on page 4 earlier, we created two regions on the page. One that gets the time from the database and displays it on the page, and another region that shows details about my movies. If I run this page, you'll see that it says hello, the username, when the page was loaded, and then the second region with all information about my movies. We said this is dynamically called, and we can check this by refreshing the page. You can see it was originally loaded at 12:11 and 47 seconds. If I refresh the page, it's now 12:12 and 9 seconds. And if I do it again, it's now 12:12 and 16 seconds. Let's say I have the requirement where I only want power users to see this hello username page loaded at time as part of my application. How would I go about doing that? Let's edit the page and let's edit this time display region. If I right click on it and select edit, I can scroll down and I can set up a condition. If any of these conditions are met, the region will be displayed. But if they're not met, the region won't be displayed for this user. So I'm going to create a PL/SQL function body that returns a Boolean variable. You can see expression 1 is now displayed for me, and I can write PL/SQL code that goes along with this particular expression. And all it does is it calls a function inside of my database called current user in group. I specify the group name that I'm checking for, power users, and then it returns a Boolean variable. If the condition is met, it returns true, and this particular region is displayed on the page. If it's not met, it'll return a false value, and this particular region will not be displayed on the page. Now that the region is updated, I can run the page as both the admin user and the Paul user. I'm still logged in as admin, so when I click Run Now, sure enough, I see Hello Admin, page loaded at the specific time. But if I log out, and I log in as my Paul user, and I want to see page 1, I want to see page 4, so I'm just going to cheat and put 4 there in my URL. You can see the region that has that display information is not there. Just one more test. Let me log out again. Log back in again. I default to page 1 because that's my home page for my application. I'm just going to say I really want to go to page 4. You can see that that region is in fact displayed on the screen. So that's a real simple trick that you can use to hide or display different pieces of information on the page.